we were sitting around, and Steve Nowicki, my guitar player, is very, very upset. Guitar World, they came out with their list of greatest guitar players of all time.
Uh-huh.
And I was trying to explain to Steve, when they come out with these lists, they got to make them controversial.
Right. They want people talking.
Steve says to me, quote, "It's shameful. Brian May of Queen was given top honors, while, of course, everyone's beloved Eddie Van Halen came in fourth." And I said, Steve, the two greatest guitar players in the world are Jimi Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen.
Wait a minute. Where's Jimmy Page?
He'd be number 3.
Okay.
Brian May is not any of those guys.
Eddie Van Halen has got to be number 1. Hendrix was incredible, but Eddie's level of game-changingness, it goes so far and beyond.
Here's the problem.
Wait a minute.
Well, let me tell you something. You're a young guy. You don't remember when Jimi Hendrix came out.
What Jimmy did, right.
When you were born, everyone had been influenced by Jimi Hendrix already. Listen to me, Steve. I know I'm your lead singer. You want to be in a band with me?
You want to stay in this band?
Yeah, because, Fred had an argument with me, and now look where he is. He's sitting at home. He's going to miss out on the big tour.
It doesn't work out well, Steve. Shut your mouth.
Right.
I take back what I said.
Fred, you're a guitar genius. Am I right about that?
Mine would be an opinion, but number 1 is Jimi Hendrix.
Right. Now,
when no Jimi Hendrix, no Eddie Van Halen.
You could even say, and I hate to say this, Steve, listen to the riffs that Jimmy Page came up with from Led Zeppelin.
He was also a better riff master than Eddie Van Halen.
Oh,
you could say number 1. You could say number 1.
Oh, yes.
Number 1. You could say number 1, Jimi Hendrix. Number 2, Jimmy Page.
Yep.
Number 3, Eddie Van Halen. And number 4, regardless, it doesn't matter.
But I think there's best guitarist of all time, and then there's like first guitarist of all time. Like
based on what, though?
So they did it first. I mean, what Hendrix did completely game changed everything. And like Eddie wouldn't have been able to do what he did without that influence. But I think Eddie took it to such a further level.
Show me why you think Eddie's number 1. Go ahead. You got your guitar out. Go ahead.
All right. So Eddie unlocked complete new levels of literally 2 hands on the fretboard, unlocked like stuff nobody could ever imagine. Like everybody knows, like Eruption. And then like the harmonic tapping that he did.
Well, hey, if you're going to get into that, what about Tom Morello? Rage Against the Machine.
Tom Morello does not get enough respect on these lists. I mean, he should absolutely be top 10 because it's him, Hendrix, and Eddie did things with the guitar that no one has ever done. It's so outside of the realm of what you would even imagine you can do on a guitar. So he should be at least top 10.
I don't know that you know all you think you know.
You're probably right. But
you sound
know
very authoritative. But I
he
don't
knows.
think
He
you
knows.
know everything.
Tom Morello is incredible, though. Top 10 for sure.
Other artists Guitar World ranked included David Gilmour, number 6, Slash, number 10. Got to agree with that. Slash is great. Joe Walsh, number 17. Joe's a great guitar player. Keith Richards, number 18. Frank Zappa, number 19. Who'd they leave out, Fred?
Other guitarists I consider to be great would be Prince.
Right.
Billy Gibbons.
What about like a guy like Pete Townsend? To me, he's one of the greatest.
Best rhythm player ever.
Townsend's 21, and Joe Walsh is 17, and Dwayne Allman's 16 on this list.
I love these lists. I love arguing with people about it. I'll tell you who I like. Lindsey Buckingham. Angus Young.
He's on the list.
AC/DC. Oh, what number?
He's got to be at least top 10. I mean, Angus, and I would say Angus and Malcolm together as a duo. I mean, like, that's some of the most iconic rock riffs you've ever heard.
Go ahead,
the
play
lead
some.
Stuff
Go ahead, play some Angus Young. How did you have time to fuck girls? I mean, you must have been practicing day and night the way you're ripping like that, right? Fred, he's pretty good.
He's great. And the best lead ever is Comfortably Numb.
Go ahead, Steve. Comfortably Numb.
That's the only part I know, that little bend that he does. It's so cool.
What about Stephen Stills? That dude can fucking play guitar. And so can
player.
Neil Young. Play the opening of Woodstock. Dare.
Something like that.
Yeah. And I said it to Bruce. I said, Bruce, you're very underrated as a guitar player. And he agreed. He's
Is
really
he
good.
on the list or not?
No. No.
Wow.
How insulting.
Steve Perry is number 25.
Steve Perry.
Get out of here.
I'm
You
sorry,
mean
Joe
Joe
Perry.
Perry.
Joe
Joe
Perry.
Perry.
Joe Perry.
Perry.
Steve
Perry.
Perry. Steve Perry's a moron.
Steve
He could never
Perry's
learn
not
guitar.
on the list.
Yeah,
And Johnny
exactly.
Ramone should be in the top
Steve
25.
Perry.
Johnny Ramone, like, completely revolutionized. It's the simplest thing he does. He just plays, like, downstroke chords.
Let me hit
But
downstroke chords. Go ahead. All right. I can play that.
And Glenn Campbell.
Fred, you okay?
Glenn
Campbell
Campbell.
Glenn
was a
Campbell.
great guitar
Actually,
player.
Eddie Van Halen asked Alice Cooper if he could talk to Glenn Campbell to get him some guitar lessons because apparently Eddie thought Glenn was a great player.
Yeah.
Somebody came to life this morning. Look at Fred on fire.
What
this.
about Jeff
No, there's
Beck,
just a different
Fred?
era. What's that? I'm sorry, what?
All right. Jeff Beck was a great guitar player. All right.
No,
All
Jeff
right,
Beck.
Thank you.
Jeff
I gotta
Beck could
put the-
actually mop the floor with Eric Clapton.
I
so-
got to put the genie back in the bottle. I don't know what I got into Fred, but
No,
you know what I
but
mean?
it was pleasurable.